Keith Jeffrey, training for Warriors Rhode Island, coming at you guys with our video on shoulder health. Shoulder health. It's a fact, guys, that now, man, we're getting shorter. We're getting shorter as a society because, man, through all the texting we're doing, working at the computer, man, not having a strong upper back, we're tending to get a little bit shorter. Also, through times of stress, man, as we're taking short breaths through these stressful situations, our rib cage actually raises up. As our rib cage gets higher, our shoulders tend to come forward more. My head tends to come forward more. For every inch my head is forward more than it's supposed to be, my head weight doubles on my neck. So you're talking about neck pain, you're talking about upper back pain. So man, definitely something we want to eradicate, and that's what this video series is all about, okay? So what do we got to do? A lot of times when people have this pain in their shoulders, guys, they feel it in the front. They feel it in the front. Maybe when they're lifting something, they feel a pull, or maybe it's in the neck as well. That's totally normal, but that's not what's causing the situation. It's the position of the lats. Because as your shoulders sit forward and they're knotted up, man, you start to lose range of motion. Whereas if my shoulders sit back, I'm able to gain that range of motion back again and get out of pain. So talking about those knots, guys, one of these guys right here, okay, right here. So as you can see, as much as I stretch the tissue, man, that knot still exists. So I can stretch a lot. That can help some, but if there are knots there, man, it's not going to do the job and make you feel like you should, okay? So how do we get rid of this guy? We're going to use the foam roller. Okay, so very easy, guys. You can purchase this anywhere, Walmart, Dick's, buy the half-size one. They're cheap. You can even use a piece of PVC pipe. Just be careful. They can be a little bit painful. So right now, we're going to hit the floor and do some lat rolling. So speaking about the lats, guys, we want to get those knots out. We want to release that tissue so that the length comes back to normal. And man, this is something that's going to give you relief right away. Now, I will say it is a little bit painful. Your ability to relax is really important here, guys. So when I say relax, take some deep breaths. Focus on the breathing. If you focus on the breathing, not on the little discomfort, it's going to be a lot easier. Your nervous system will relax. Your muscular system will relax. It's going to make this process a lot easier, and you'll get that release and that lengthening of the tissue that we're looking for here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go palm up, which is going to help open up the lat. I'm going to push a little bit off my feet. I'm going to find that spot that's a little bit tender. You're going to feel it. You're going to know when you're there. It's going to feel a little bit painful. And I'm going to take about 3 to 4 deep inhale, exhales. After that, I'm just going to roll a little bit above, a little bit below, and you should feel some kind of release. Sometimes it's a big one. Sometimes there's just a little less pain. If there's a little less pain, you got to do another round, okay? So we want to get that pain free there, okay? So sometimes you got to tip a little bit forward to find those guys. Sometimes you got to tip a little bit back, but still keeping the palm up and trying to keep the head in alignment with the body. You don't want to be jacked up here. We want to have good alignment with the spine and making sure we're staying breathing all the way through this movement. And right from there, man, when you sit up, you're already going to start to notice feels a little bit looser and you have better range of motion already. So now that we got the tissue length back to somewhat normal, man, you're already going to feel some relief. You're already going to feel like you have range of motion that you haven't had in a little bit of time, which takes stress off the back, it takes stress off the neck, and it's going to feel good. But now, because that scapulae is still pronated, it's still sitting forward a little bit, we want to have something that can reposition that so it's sitting where we want it to sit in that shoulder girdle. And that's going to enter in the wall slide. That's going to be something simple that anyone can do. I think everyone has a wall in their house that doesn't have some stuff on it that you could work off of to help regain that mobility. And that's where we're going right now. All right, guys. Now, repositioning that scapulae. That's the mission right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our butt as close to the wall as you can. As close to the wall as you can. And now, I'm going to know my letters. I got to know my letters. Here's what I mean. I'm going to put my hands up against the wall, okay? Head is up against the wall as well. Shoulder blades up against the wall. So I'm going to take a nice strong inhale. I'm going to come down. Strong inhale. Make my W at the bottom, all right? As low as I can with my hand still on the wall. Then I'm going to pull my stomach in. Exhale. I'm gonna come up, 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 and then make my Y at the very top, holding for 1 at the top and 3 at the bottom. So I take a nice strong inhale, squeezing the shoulder blades, holding for 3, then exhale, pulling the stomach in, back flat to the wall, up, 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 making that Y at the top, okay? So it's gonna burn a little bit too. You might get a little burn in your shoulders. We're gonna shoot for about 8 to 10 repetitions here. But if you have a severe shoulder, man, your shoulder's really pronated, you have pain in it. I've done this with athletes. I've done this with people who had come off surgery, and they can do it. Here's how they do it. Move away from the wall a little bit. Come away from the wall enough where you can put your shoulders up against the wall and your hands up against the wall. If you move away, you'll eventually be able to do it. You might just have this much range of motion. You might only be able to come down this much, and this might be it. But man, you do it a couple of times and it starts building up, and that mobility will come back, and you'll start to feel more like yourself again and get out of pain. Now it's time for what most people start with is our flexibility work, okay? So we got the muscle length back to normal using the roller. We also got the mobility back, guys, in that shoulder using the wall slides. Now it's time to add the flexibility continuum in with our doorway stretch. So, guys, with our doorway, this is a little wider than our standard doorway, okay? So the one you have at home is actually perfect, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my arms 90 degrees here in the doorway. I'm gonna walk 1 foot into the other room here. My other foot close to the threshold, and I am on my toes, okay? So I'm gonna walk forward so that my foot is almost in the threshold. I'm gonna squeeze my shoulder blades together, stomach nice and tight, which means, man, squeeze those glutes as well. I'm gonna push in, squeeze my shoulder blades nice and tight. Again, make sure I'm breathing. I like to do 3 to 4 inhale, exhales. And again, what I don't want is hyperextension, okay? This is gonna defeat the purpose of this. So, man, I really wanna squeeze together and get the mobility again in that upper back. And this is one that immediately you're gonna feel some relief and get some better range of motion. So guys, man, with these 3 simple moves, we're gonna help get that muscle length back to normal, build some mobility, get some flexibility, and man, you start to do these 2 to 3 times a week. Even once or twice, you'll notice a difference, but if you consistently do this for a couple of weeks, I guarantee you, you have better range of motion. Man, your back feels better, your neck feels looser, and you're much more likely to be able to do the things you've been saying no to, man, just because you're in a little bit of pain. If this helped you get out of pain, that's what I want to hear, guys. And also, if you have any questions, man, leave them in the comment section below. So Keith Jeffrey signing out, training for warriors, Rhode Island.